and then it just
Wow.
goes in, comes right back out. So even if you didn't star all of your images or edit all of your images, you're going to be able to put that in there contextually. And
Wow.
I think about guys like you a ton because, you know, amateur photographer. Okay, took some photography in college just for fun, not trying to make a business out of it. But I have a huge archive, right? And I would love an AI to be able to rip through everything that I have and categorize it and know what everything is and put it all in boxes and then be able to show me slideshows. Like all of this stuff is going to be possible. And I feel like for guys like you that have probably a pretty staggering archive, most of which is not seeing the light of day, like if it helps you surface a bunch of it, combine it in different ways, you know, like you could go from, okay, yeah, I've got prints of the owls to all of a sudden you ask the AI, go and get every single solitary species of owl that I've ever shot. I want you to get the best images that I have, framing, composition, sharpness, and put all of those in a folder. And then it's like, boom, you grab that. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, it's time to make a book about owls, right?
Yeah.
And now you now have 3 to 5 shots of each one. You can have the AI go and get the scientific names for all of them, where they live, where you shot them, tell a little story. All right, coming up on another edition of the Art Marketing Podcast, back with another artist interview. In this case, it is photographer Gary Roach. We just met, but I have taken a look at his Instagram account, which I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. And it's suffice to say, his work is absolutely amazing, which will be very, very easy to say. Gary, thanks for coming on. Welcome to the show. Love to start with the origin story. Where are you? Where are you from? How'd you get into this? How long you've been doing it? All that type of stuff. And then we can kick things off from there.
Yeah, sure. I currently live in Naples, Florida. I've been coming up, it'll be 32 years. I've been down in Naples.
Wow.
If you don't know where Naples is, it's pretty much directly across from Miami on the Gulf side.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, and it's hot. We're cooking right now. It's in the 90s this week, and we're just barely into April. But been here 32 years. I'm actually a registered nurse as well. That kind of got me down here, and I'm
Wow.
still a nurse, part-time,
Mhm.
and photography the rest of the time. Yeah, and then actually I'm moving to California in June, so looking forward to that just in a couple months.
Wild. Where in California are you going to move?
Uh, San Francisco Bay Area, we're looking at Monterey as well. So just better weather. We're just Florida's just kind of brutal for about 9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And my wife retires, so we're gonna, yeah, take advantage of her retirement, and she's probably gonna keep working out there as well.
Awesome. Well, good for you. Amazing. So nurse the whole time. So you've had a day job, and then was photography always just a passion, and you went from there. And while you're talking about that, I'll scroll through your Instagram, give people a look.
Yeah. So I wanted to do photography since I was like 20. Um, and I was doing some underwater photography in my 20s down here, but it was,
Mhm.
it was film, so you had to go scuba
Yeah.
diving. You had to get like whatever 39 pictures on a roll of film, and you hope they came out and all that stuff. But now obviously you can take as many pictures as you want and delete the ones you don't want, and it's a lot easier.
Right, that
But yeah,
brings
I
up
got
such a good point. There was no change in film out back then, was there?
no,
Not underwater.
not
No.
underwater. And we didn't have autofocus or anything. So I was trying to gauge distance, and your distance is distorted underwater anyway.
Yeah.
And whenever I thought I got good pics, I got them developed and they were horrible. And then when I thought they were terrible, they came back great. So it was always a surprise when I got them developed. But yeah,
Amazing.
I,
And when did you start taking it more seriously as a business? I mean, the sheer amount of hours that you've been into this already, just based on these nature shots that you get. I mean, these are not easy to acquire on just one little trip out in the backyard here.
no, so it started in 2017. I had a little bit of money, and I said, "What am I
Mhm.
going to do?" And I ended up saying, why don't you get a lens, a good lens for your camera,
Mhm.
And I ended up getting it was a 200 to 500 millimeter Nikon, and I just had
Good luck.
I had a camera that you can get at Walmart. It was probably $400 with the whole kit, so it was not an expensive camera. So anybody doing this or starting out, you don't have to have a great camera. A lens is definitely more important, especially if you want to reach wildlife. If you got that extension and that reach, it's gonna kind of change things for you. And I would just go out every single day. I wasn't working as a nurse. I'd work 3 12-hour shifts as a nurse, so I was off 4 days. So my 4 days off, I'd be outside. And
Wow.
in Florida, we have some great wildlife down here, and you'll see a lot of that in my Instagram. Uh, yeah, so I would just go out, and I didn't have any inhibition about like sharing my stuff. And so I just started submitting to some local magazines, and I got published right away. I got published. I started shooting in like February, and after a few months, I just submitted to Gulf Shore Life, which is a pretty popular magazine down here, and
Okay.
I got accepted, and I got published. I think with them like 6 7 times, and I said, "Wow, this could be something," you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I got a lot of good feedback on my photography, but uh, then I just kind of stalled with it. I didn't do any marketing. I wasn't doing anything to kind of promote myself.
Yeah.
And years go by, and if I didn't sell anything, that was fine. I still had my nursing job. I still had a job, still making money. Um, and I would sell some here and there. I started doing some art shows, and I did pretty well in the beginning, but art shows can be kind of tough because I bought a whole tent.
Yeah.
Started doing those. And my first show, I sold like $1,000 on my first show, and I was like, oh, this is cool. My second show, next couple shows, I didn't sell quite as much. I think barely anything, and it's a lot of work. I mean, you got to
Yeah.
take your tent, you got to set it up, and I see the guys
Hay,
doing it.
long day on your feet, the whole thing.
Oh man, long weekend.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and then you got to fulfill your orders and everything after that, and but you collect the money too, so obviously that's a good part. But so I just kind of stalled on the art shows. And but what was most important to me was just doing the photography. So I think like any artist, I don't think you really want much to interfere with that. Like I didn't want anything messing up me going out and just being outside and taking my pictures and that. And if I sold some, I that was fine. If I didn't, that's fine too. But I just really wanted, people, you get too caught up in trying to monetize things, sometimes it just kind of dampens the whole thing out and burns your
Feels the
fire
joy.
out. So
Feels the joy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it kills the joy. So but I'm at the point now where I'm like, nothing's gonna kill my joy, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so why not try to monetize it and take the next step and really, you know, go for it? Because you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger said this thing is if you have more than one option in things, you're probably gonna, you're not focused on 100% on, success.
Yeah.
So like I have two jobs, which is good. It's a good backup, but like if I just dove right into the photography and started selling, I think I could do something. And he said too, you got to bet on yourself. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I love it. So will the plan be then make the move to California, get that going on? You just came on board with us, so you're going to have the fully featured art website and a bunch of capabilities you probably didn't have as easily before. Is it stop nursing when you move to California and just start hammering it full time?
Well, probably not, to be honest. I'm probably going to have to, dive into the nursing a bit. But the good
Mhm.
thing with nursing is I can work, if I just want to work part time, I can work 2 12-hour shifts. I'll have 5 days off during the week. But my mindset has changed where I really want to monetize this
Mhm.
and really make it happen. So that's what's new. And yeah, and then California would be a great start, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely great start. I live out here in California too, and I absolutely love it. So okay, couple of shows, sold some prints, did local fulfillment, never took the marketing seriously. So despite the very healthy following on Instagram, you're at 20K or whatever, 21K. You've never had a website up till now, and you've sort of, aside from the shows or just requests here or there, you've never really pushed the sales. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I do have a website and you can go to it, but the front page of it's kind of wonky right now. I was just trying to update that, but I was also doing some workshops. I'd take photographers out here in South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was working on a couple Costa Rica options too for
Awesome.
workshops there. And that's another thing I want to get into more as I move on here is workshops. But yeah, so you can see my pictures there. A lot of
You
those are
shoot a
from
lot. You shoot a lot of video now too, don't you?
I do. Um, People love video.
Yeah.
Video is difficult though, because with a camera, you take a picture, you got one great picture. You just got to get one picture out of it, you know. With
Mhm.
video, if you mess it up, you know, if you don't turn it right, if it's not smooth, it's immediately going to distract people, and it's immediately screwed up, you know.
Yeah.
So it's more challenging, but people love video.
Yeah, for sure. And it's great social media fodder. So you're going to come into this business, I imagine, with what amounts to just a massive hard drive full of pictures already that are pretty spectacular, huh?
Yeah, I have. Well, I had a computer store here in town too, so I'm a little bit of IT guy, but I have
Mhm.
a NAS here with Scott. I have like 32 terabytes. I'm not filling that up yet, but
Jeez.
I got a lot of probably too much, to
Yeah.
be honest. When you got that much, you got too much. You got to trim it
You
down.
can't
But
even, you're never even gonna be able to see it all. But I
I
I
know.
am so I'm so optimistic about what's gonna happen with AI and how quickly everything's dropping with AI. Like, good question for you there, period. How much have you played around with AI? And are you using it regularly in any capacity?
No, I'm not really using it too much. I just kind of use the only I use the Topaz product for the photography, the
Mhm.
photo AI. I use that. But yeah, so that's another thing. I signed up for you guys with the AI.
Art helper, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, Art Helper. That's
Yeah.
it. So I just signed up with that. So I'm looking forward to that. And the guy that kind of led me into you guys, he was showing it to me, and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like as far as just, and that's where I'm lacking is the marketing and how to approach different people uh with my stuff, you know,
Mhm.
interior designers, all that good stuff. And you guys have it kind of formatted out. So what do I say? How do I present this, you know, the best way? So yeah, I'm looking
100%.
forward to it.
100%. But even on the AI side of things, like, the cost of storage is going down to nothing, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be in a zone, and we're contemplating how quickly we want to build this into Art Helper. But the idea is that you'll give it, let's just say, the 32 terabytes, whatever it is, maybe it's 15 terabytes. You don't have the whole thing filled up, whatever. And the AI will just rip through every single solitary picture and contextualize it to the best of its ability. If you've already given it metadata in Lightroom or whatever else, it'll incorporate that metadata. But you can, once it's all done and you have that centralized database, you're going to be able to search your entire archive and go, show me all the pictures I have of owls. Show me all the pictures I have of the owls in certain days. And what's going to be so important about that for you is, like, you probably didn't do good contextual metadata on all of those things, or maybe you did, I don't know. But
Mm-mm.
every trip, every location, every vacation spot, everything, all of that can be used in the marketing, right? And the thought of you going through all those photos by hand, one by one, are you kidding me? It's like, it will never happen. It just wouldn't.
Great. No.
So the fact that AI can chew through it, and what's even more insane than that is, like, AI is not perfect, but AI can go through all of your folders and say, come back. You're going to be able to prompt it and say, come back with shots only that have perfect framing, perfect composition, perfect lighting, perfect focus. And then it just
Wow.
goes in, comes right back out. So even if you didn't star all of your images or edit all of your images, you're going to be able to put that in there contextually. And I
Wow.
think about guys like you a ton because, you know, amateur photographer. Okay, took some photography in college just for fun, not trying to make a business out of it. But I have a huge archive, right? And I would love an AI to be able to rip through everything that I have and categorize it and know what everything is and put it all in boxes and then be able to show me slideshows. Like, all of this stuff is going to be possible. And I feel like for guys like you that have probably a pretty staggering archive, most of which is not seeing the light of day, like, if it helps you surface a bunch of it, combine it in different ways, like, you could go from, okay, yeah, I've got prints of the owls, to all of a sudden you ask the AI, go and get every single solitary species of owl that I've ever shot. I want you to get the best images that I have, framing, composition, sharpness, and put all of those in a folder. And then it's like, boom, you grab that, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, it's time to make a book about owls, right?
Yeah.
And now you now have 3 to 5 shots of each one. You can have the AI go and get the scientific names for all of them, where they live, where you shot them, tell a little story. And I feel like guys like you, especially when I look at it, I mean, you're obviously only putting your best stuff up. You're not pussyfooting around. You guys got to go check out his page after this. I'll link it up everywhere. But you have some National Geographic level shots in here all over the place.
Oh,
I feel like,
thanks. Appreciate that.
yeah. I mean, I think it's obvious for anyone to see. It's like normally you get like a good photo here or there, some incredible framing here or there. You don't get every other image is like really, really pretty staggeringly amazing. So I'm
Oh,
I'm
thanks.
I'm very excited about that side of things. I really want you thinking about the photo books because I think the photo books, they play like a really unique role. I love this one, like literally owl and a cactus. My brother is obsessed with owls. So I'll get to send this to him. But anyway, I think in terms of revenue, have you ever even contemplated a book or thought about doing a book?
When I first started, people were like, "You should make a book. You should make a book,"
Yeah.
but it just hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
We've
yeah,
got
I'm
to,
open to it 100%. Whatever, whatever I can do.
yeah, to start bringing in revenue. What percentage, the only bummer is that you probably have a massive archive of Florida, right? And now you're about to leave Florida. So you might have to have somebody carry on some sales for you, ground and pound status. But is the majority of the archive Florida?
Yeah, majority is. I
Mhm,
just did Alaska this August. So the grizzly bears you see there
mhm,
are those guys. Um, I've done Costa Rica 5 times, and so the other thing is I was travel nursing for the last 4 years, well, since 2021. So like, yeah, 4 years. I've been back in April since October, but I've been all four corners of the country. So we were up in Maine. I did a job there for three
mhm.
months as a nurse, and then we picked up our new camper there, and then ended up extending the time there. We did Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, so I got stuff up there too. I got a
That's
lot of stuff
beautiful.
I haven't
Yeah,
even touched. Then Washington State, I was in Spokane, Washington, ended up going up to Alberta, Canada, which is just, if you guys have never been there, it's amazing.
stunning.
It's it's our Rocky Mountains, but just
Times
a
10
whole nother level.
on a whole
Yeah,
nother level.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so then I did two gigs in Arizona. So I was able to, kind of translate that traveling into photography. Obviously, you saw the owl and the cactus. That wasn't
Mhm.
Florida. That was
No, that's,
down in Arizona. But
yeah, that's definitely not Florida.
I'm excited to be to photograph in California as well. I was just out for Christmas, and we kind of toured up and down the coast a bit, and went
Hmm.
up to. We tried to make it to. So this is when the LA fires were going on. So
Yeah.
we're up in Monterey, and we're in the camper, and kind of tried to make our way up to the Oregon coast there, to Oregon, I should say.
Hmm.
And we were flooding, so it was raining real hard there. So we had flooding in the north, and then LA was on fire. So we had to cut that short a little bit. Uh, but
I
anyway,
mean,
and going back to your point of like marketing here, ironically, I have a friend that's retiring in the fall,
hmm,
and I still have my art tent and I still have all the supplies for that. And I kind of mentioned to him, was like, would you want to do art shows? And he's like, he really thought about it. He said, yeah. He's like, with your work and this opportunity for me, he's like, I could see it working. So,
yeah.
and we have our art shows down here in the winter time in Florida, so that wouldn't be
Mhm.
till next fall, next fall they would start. They're just finishing up now with the season here. But anyway, yeah, so he could be my he could be my art show guy down here, and I'm in California, and yeah, so it's
Yeah.
exciting.
I love the, and we have some case studies with some art storefronts customers that you'll probably end up meeting, virtually or whatever over the years. But the combo of the book being this beautiful thing on the coffee table, driving the desire to have the beautiful thing on the wall, or having the beautiful thing on the wall, driving the desire to have the
Yeah.
beautiful, and it's like one of the most important things about this business, especially you like, getting restarted, let's say, is the whole thing comes down to how many customers you acquire per year, how many new customers you acquire per year. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have, i.e., it's easier to get someone to come back and purchase again than it is to get someone new to purchase for the first time. And then two, sort of just the phenomenon of collectors in this business, right? Like an artist, a photographer's number one goal is to get as many collectors as possible because they're going to keep coming back year after year after year and buying more and more and more, right? So
Hmm.
when you isolate yourself to just wall art is like a little bit more of a friction filled decision, i.e., I got to talk to my spouse. I got to go home and measure. Is it going to dovetail with the furniture? Da 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 da. Am I going to get a frame? Am I
Yeah.
not going to get a frame? But a book is like, oh hell, just take my card, you know, slide it,
Yeah.
whatever. And then the book goes home with them. You get an email address. They're on your email list. You just acquired a customer. Chances are they're going to look at that book, and then a month or two later, they're going to be like, let's get a print, you know? And so it's such a powerful driver, right? And I feel like it really works on the nature niche, you know? It really, really works in the nature niche and the wildlife niche. One other big thing that I think definitely you want to spend some time on is like, and you said it, right? Like we've lived through the evolution, you and I, because we're somewhere in age, I'm sure. Where photography was hard. The equipment was expensive. Developing was expensive. You know, the equipment wasn't as good. We've watched it go from that all the way down to everyone has a pretty decent camera in their pocket 24 hours a day, right? And so with that, the sheer number of shots of amazing things has expanded and blown up and exploded, right? And you know, even on Instagram, for instance, you know, it's where everyone spends their time, or take insert whatever social network you want. You can be a significantly better photographer and better well-traveled and have better equipment and have better photos. But it's like you're just another tree in the rainforest for how many images there are out there. And so why do I bring that up? What can really differentiate you and set you apart is when you incorporate in some of the story of how hard it was to go and find that shot, of what happened when you were there with that shot, of what's going on with that animal, of what happens in this particular swamp in Naples, for what reason, you know. So really challenge you to start thinking along those lines ahead of time, because the more story that you can incorporate in, and really the more anything, okay, the more anything. And like another just fantastic use case, and I can just show this off in real time and give you an example, right? Like another fantastic use case, again, of AI is like, okay, so I'm going to pull up, it's going to take me a second to get this all dialed in, but I'll show you. I'm going to pull out some of your images, right? And let's just say I download a couple of the owl images, right? And I have this little plugin that lets me download directly from Instagram. So it's just going to give me these. Like, okay, so you have these great owl shots, and I'll see if there's any more. There's one more, right? Okay. So I'm going to stop that screen share. I'm going to pull up another one. And in this case, just to make things faster, I could use, I could certainly use Art Helper to do this too, but I'm just going to use ChatGPT because it's right here and it's faster. So, okay, I just downloaded those images, right? I'm going to upload those images that I just downloaded of your work, and then we just grab them here. So it'll take me just a second. Where's my download folder? I've been like a lifelong PC guy that just switched to a Mac, so I'm just not fast at things anymore, sadly.
Yeah, I was there. I'm Mac now too.
Are you back now too?
Oh no, I'm on Mac. Yeah, I've been Mac for a couple of years now. It was PC. Used to fix PCs actually as a business as well.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, literally my whole life on PCs, I had a buddy that built them, and just like he was so good at it, you know, that I would get like these screaming, like out of control machines. But okay, hold on, let me get some of these else. But what I'm talking about is like, you know, you really want to start thinking now, because especially you're going to be processing a lot of these images for like the first time, right? And getting them up on the website and deciding what you want to put on the website and in what capacity, right? So can you see the ChatGPT? Do I have that up? No, I don't. Let me get it up.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the type of workflow that I'm talking about. It's like I just grabbed 3 of your owl images, right? And what I would do first is I would say, please create a color palette that dovetails well with these images. I can't type. I should have probably just done my little text thing. And so what the AI will do is it will look at these 3 images and come up with like a beautiful color palette that would work with it incredibly well, right? Like these are the colors that just perfectly dovetail. And you go, you make an Instagram carousel and you say, okay, show these colors, right? With like the squares and what the color is underneath it. And you already get people thinking about the shades of what their house, what their furniture looks like that matches those, right? That dovetails perfectly with what the owls are. And instantaneously, instead of just a photo of an owl, which is a beautiful thing, you have a photo of an owl and you have what is that individual photo dovetail with from an interior design standpoint, right? And then you can get some of the room mock-ups out of Art Helper, and then you tell a little bit of story about the type of owl that it is, where it's native. And then instead of just presenting, you know, a photo, which is what everyone does on Instagram all the time, you're starting to cook with gas with like real story, you know, like a backstory and some additional elements that like set it off and really make it pop off from the page. So that's what I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. But you'll have Art Helper too, and Art Helper makes all of it easy. But that's the beautiful world that we're going to move into, and I love talking about it. I would say for you, priorities are don't worry about the website, just get it up, get whatever you can get on it, pick your print provider. You should probably choose Bay Photo because you're going to be living like, one of our
Yeah,
biggest.
I'm literally gonna be around the corner from Scotts Valley, where I just looked up where Scotts Valley was, and I had an idea, but it's right around the corner from where we're gonna be living. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited for
amazing.
that.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to pop in and even look at your prints if you want to, which is really, really cool.
Or sign them if it's like gonna be a more of a that
Yeah,
kind of print. Yeah.
yeah, super local. I mean, and you could go and pick them up if you had to, and just sign them. Yeah, could go right into the shop, sign them, and then get them shipped out. I think that's going to be amazing. Um, but you want to just get live as quickly as possible and start selling as quickly as possible, and then literally start thinking about the photo books right out of the gate. That's what I would spend my time, because you know especially the economic situation that we're in right now, which, you got to call it dicey at best. Inflation's raging. Some people think we're in a recession, some we're not. People are struggling out there, and art sales are down significantly across the board. It's just like, kind of known knowledge. So when you have those books that more equally equate to a lower dollar purchase than some of your bigger prints, you're also going to have impulse type of items that you can buy, right? So I want to start seeing these things on your Instagram profile like immediately. And I would also, so talk to me about your camper operation. And your wife loves camping, I take it. She loves going with you on these things.
Yeah, my wife loves it. So out in California, you guys have a company called Four Wheel Camper. They're out
Mm-hmm.
I think they're outside of Sacramento,
Mm-hmm.
and that's their main headquarters. But they have been loving their campers for a long time. Go out to Colorado a lot and would see
Mm-hmm.
them. We don't see them too much out on the East Coast. I've only seen a handful in Florida, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I have it on yeah, it's a 2023 model. I bought brand new. Picked it up in New Hampshire because that was one of their distribution points. They had three on the East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
and New Hampshire happened to be tax free.
Amazing.
So that's why I saved a little tax, and then we turned that into a vacation with Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and stuff for that summer, two summers ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but it's great. So if you've never seen one, it basically goes in the back of you could be either on a flatbed pickup truck or it could slide into the back. Mine slides
Mm-hmm.
into a Tacoma, and yeah, it pops up to 6.5 foot when it's
Amazing.
open, and the bed is over the cab, and it pulls out to a king size if you want it. I mean, it's huge. We don't even pull it out that much because we don't need to. It's got a little table and two chairs to sit. It's got I have a yeah, I got a two burner stove. It's got a furnace, and it's got a little fridge too. I put the fridge in myself, so
So you're ready.
yeah, it's great.
You're ready to go. And you can take that thing off
It's
when you need it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out in California. It's waiting for me, so I can't wait to get back out there and get in it.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I can't wait to see what you do, and I would love to check back in when you've been 6 months at it or 9 months at it. Because you got a lot of marketing muscles to build up. We got to get you going on an email list, more consistent marketing on Instagram, let alone having the website. But you can. It's exciting. It's exciting the first couple of months when you
Yeah,
finally get
for
the
sure.
machine going. Any other questions you have or follow ups or anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Well, you're off to a great start in the sense that you're not starting with an Instagram account from scratch, right?
Right.
We definitely have some best practices on Instagram that you're going to want to bolt in and add, but you'll be drinking from a fire hose the minute you start going through all this stuff. Anyway, there's so much stuff to learn. But great talking to you, Gary. Can't wait to see where you take this entire business. The work certainly holds up. Can't wait to see the photo books, and maybe we'll see you in California soon.
All right. Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it.